to our stability and balance class. So today we're going to prioritize our balance movements, and then we'll go ahead and do some standing and sitting stretches. Maybe try some new stretches that we've been learning as well, but we do want to prioritize balance. This is the one class throughout the week that we will be working on balance. We'll have this class again tomorrow at 8 in the morning, so feel free to join us. Maybe a little bit more emphasis on stability tomorrow, but of course balance is priority. But other than that, let's go ahead and just begin. We'll get a little bit of stretching as we're doing some of these balance movements. So we're going to go ahead and start with our Romberg stance. So feet together, so feet right here, and we're just not doing anything. We're just standing. Hopefully start of a good day. Sometimes you already know, like yesterday, no, 2 days ago, I had a blister that developed on my foot, and first few steps out of bed, I already knew that we're gonna look left to right now. I already knew that it was gonna be not a bad day because of my blister, but that I knew that my run was not gonna be the best because I was gonna have to limp a little bit because I could feel the blister just as I was walking around. And yeah, so I already had this irritated mindset when it came to my run later in the day. And then so I'm barefoot right now, up and down, and I'm just kind of letting that blister just completely dry out. I released the fluid that was inside of it so it could dry out. And then yesterday, I woke up and I took my first few steps out of bed and I didn't feel it. And I was happy about it because I'm like, okay, my run could go a little bit better today. And I think during the run, I don't know if it was because I was sweating a lot, but let's close our eyes. But I think it may have refilled and then sealed. So I had to drain it again. But I think it's getting there. But yeah, I bring that up because there's some days or some mornings you already know based on the first 5 seconds out of bed, like, oh shoot, my back hurts, or this shoulder feels funky today. My hip is usually one of those that warns me, gives me a heads up what my day's gonna be like. Open your eyes. Very good. We're gonna start with some light, easy movements. Okay, so we're gonna go just slow high knee marches. So again, remember for these balance stretches, movements, you wanna have your chair nearby if you need it, because you could always hover your hand over that chair. If you feel like you're gonna tip over, you could just press on it. So we have, after this week, we have 2 more weeks of 6 days before our summer term is over. Our last day will be August 1st. All right, we're gonna go ahead, and then Carmen, I keep bringing you up because you connected me to a series of new stretches, but we're gonna be doing the lymphatic flush movements. So we're gonna drive that knee up like a high knee, but then now we're gonna work on our lower leg. Okay, so try to work on that lower leg here. Carmen opened my eyes to a whole new world of stretches. So again, we're working on balance here, but again, we are trying to excrete kind of like the waste that surrounds our lymph nodes. So then let's go and reverse, so counterclockwise. And I appreciate that, I really do, because as you know, many of you have been with me for years, and I'm sure you're like, we always do the same thing, and we're doing that stretch again, and and we do the stuff that's always going to help us, but yeah, stuff could get repetitive, but adding new things and switching it up always makes the class a little bit more entertaining and fun. So how was that? That felt like an eccentric strength exercise too, just by keeping that leg up. That leg started fatiguing a little bit. So again, lift that left leg, And again, let's go clockwise. So again, working on balance here. And the balance is almost accidental because this movement is mainly for your lymph nodes. And then, but yeah, we're still working our balance. So you could always hover that hand over that chair. And then here, and then switch. And then back down. All right, very good. Oof. Yeah, that got the hips going a little bit. All right. We'll separate the balance work a little bit with a little bit of standing stretching. So let's just go ahead and reach up towards the ceiling. We'll stretch. Yeah, so as I mentioned many times, I know I repeat myself a lot. Next Saturday I have a race, and so I've been listening to a lot of like audiobooks and podcasts. Let's Lean Right, and a lot of it's talking about heat acclimation, like getting your body used to running in the heat or being active in the heat. So my watch tells me also in a percentage how much I'm adapting to the heat. So earlier in the week, when I was doing all of my runs, switch left, all of my runs before 8 in the morning, it was saying that I was only 8% acclimated to the heat, which I don't know what that means, you know, but 8% doesn't sound good. So the next day, I did a run at about, relax, we're gonna do single arm windmills. I didn't see this in the video, Carmen, for the lymphatic flushing, but I'm sure this is probably getting that lymph node in that underarm region. So, because the one I saw with the lymphatic flushing for the arms, I'll show after, but it looked kind of silly, but I think it works. Let's reverse. So I went on this run in the afternoon, and after the run, my watch told me that I was 31% heat acclimated. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm increasing. Let's switch. And then the next morning, I ran in the morning and it stayed at 31%. And then yesterday, I ran around noon and it went up to 49%. So I don't know if that means that when I get to 100%, if I'm just gonna be like invincible at running at any like high temperatures out on the, out in the sun. But yeah, it's just kind of like an odd metric. I doubt it's like 100% accurate, but I hope there's some adaptability. Let's go in reverse. And you would think, but I think the way it shows it, it almost, because you would think someone that works outside all day, maybe in construction or landscaping or like farming, anything that's outside, a coach, something in the middle of the day. Let's do trunk rotations. They're probably used to the heat a little bit more, but a couple runs in the middle of the day, I don't think that's gonna be the same as someone who's been working their whole lives or years on there. So just me venting about these weird metrics that my watch tells me. Let's go left and right. Morning, Olivia. So yeah, the lymphatic flush
Morning,
movement.
William.
Good morning. That I saw for the underarm lymph nodes, it was something like this. So, but that almost seems a little bit too aggressive. So I think this kind of will do. But yeah, but we might throw that one in there in the future class. Let's go right foot in front of our left. Oof. I think my wife just actually got herself like a long sleeve shirt to do yard work, but it's like for UV protection. And it's funny, I was actually just looking at something like that for my runs, but she found herself one. So I think that might be my next thing to be outside. I bought myself like a long sleeve with a small hoodie, but it's I think after like 72 degrees, I start sweating a lot more into it. Let's go left to right. So, do any of you own any items like that? Like instead of just putting sunscreen, you have like a light jacket or a hoodie that you do for like your walks or anything like that? Mm, up and down? I feel like you would benefit from something like that out in New Mexico, Terry, if you had. You probably do, huh? A whole collection. Up and down. All right, stop. Close your eyes. It's a lot of shakiness going up on my front foot, and my arches are getting tired on my back foot. And open your eyes. Very good. We're gonna elevate that left leg, so like a flamingo. Yeah, the one responsible thing I've been doing recently with like running in the middle of the day is putting on sunscreen. Because I would always just be like, oh, I don't need sunscreen. I'm tanned already. That's enough protection. But now I'm like, yeah, I'll rather put sunscreen on. Sometimes I see sunspots on my shoulders, upper back. I'm like, I need to protect myself a little bit better now. I knee drive. Back. And down. Alright, and then we're going to do the same with the right leg. So flamingo for a second here. Reach out, up. Very good. Alright, awesome. Let's go ahead. We'll do a little bit of strengthening as well. This works with the stability component of the class. So we're going to do standing Jane Fondas. So feet are together here, and you're just going to raise up and down. Try to keep your torso upright. Also, if anyone's interested, maybe Carmen, I feel like you might be interested in this. The races that I'm doing, I know sometimes they look for volunteers and how they comp or reward the volunteers for helping out is sometimes, or at least not sometimes, at least for this series of races, what they'll do is they'll cover your entry fee for the next event. And I believe some of these entry fees are, they're pretty pricey. They could be between $120 and like $180. but sometimes they just ask for you to volunteer your time. Let's switch for like 2, 3, or 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. I think the shift I did once to pay for my competition next weekend. I think I volunteered for 4 hours, and it was out there by where was it? By Rancho Santa Margarita, like out there in that area. But yeah, but if you're interested, I think there's an event next on August 1st, which is our last day of class for this summer, and I think the next three competitions that race director puts on, you could choose which event you want for free for donating your time. And trust me, these trail races, I would say about maybe 60%, 50 to 60% of the folks are just hiking it. You know, they're just walking, speed walking, hiking it, and they're just trying to get to the finish line before like the cutoff time, which is reasonable. There, relax. Okay, let's go with our quad stretch. Right leg back, pull right above the ankle, and then maybe the other 40% of the field is actually trying to like run it or go for like a personal best or just get a little bit more competitive. But yeah, I like it. I like the community a little bit more than like your typical 5K or half marathon because it's a smaller field and everyone just talks to each other, and not just that, but because usually it's in more challenging terrain like in the hills or trails. Usually what happens is there's these aid stations about every few miles, and as soon as you get to the aid station, the volunteers there just like swarm you and are there to like, do you need lotion? Do you need sunscreen? Like, do you need a quick massage? Do you need water? Do you need soda? Do you need candy, food, anything? And like, yeah, it's just like, it's a nice group of people that are taking care of you because they want you to get to the finish line. So yeah, it's a really neat community. So um, even though I got the free race out of it, I think I would just go and help out because it's pretty fun just to see the folks there. Um, so yeah, in case anyone's interested, I could give you more information.
Send us the email.
Yeah. So I think the August 1st race is in Mission Viejo, and I believe that race director puts on 3 or 4 races a year, so you could choose from that. All right, very good. Ooh, hips are getting a little tight. All right, so we did our right foot in front. Now we're gonna go with our left foot. Okay, left foot here. And I like this specific race director that does that because there's other places that you could volunteer for 5 hours, and they'll be like, okay, because you volunteered 5 hours, here's a $50 discount for this $200 race. And you're like, geez, like I still have to pay 150 after that. Um, and then there's some that just they ask for like 8 or 10 hours of volunteer time to sponsor your race. But this race director, it's more like I said, like 3 to 5 hours is usually. So I have two friends that at this next race, they're gonna work the parking lot for 2 or 3 hours, and then they compete for free. Um, Left to right, they're just not happy that um, it's gonna be like around at 2 or 3 p.m. before the race. So I'm like, you guys better hydrate because it's gonna, out there in like the Temecula area, it's not gonna be nice and chilly. It's gonna be warm. Up and down. Close your eyes. Almost tipped over. Open your eyes. Okay. Very good. Alright, we're almost done completely with our balance exercises. We have a few. You just relax. We can do big hula hoops. Just to relax your feet a little bit. Yeah, I think this is the weekend that many folks are going to be traveling, so. Oof. Switch. Alright, we're gonna do a variation of like circle stance here. First one's gonna be a stretch. So this is just standing here and drawing semicircles. So bring that right leg up. And then let's go back. And let's try to go as far back as like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock here, and then back to like 10 o'clock here. And then also, I think I mentioned, but for Irvine Valley, where I also teach, I have 4 classes assigned, and that's Monday through Thursday. I believe reset. You're gonna go with the left leg now, so bring it up front. If I believe the Monday and Wednesday class, because we have classes here at Irvine on Monday and Wednesdays, those will be at 2 p.m. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, those will be at 9 a.m. So, yeah, those are just optional, but I know Irvine Valley, it's a little bit more tedious work to register for those classes. Reset here. All right, very good. Let's grab our chair. We'll do some sit-down stretches from our chair before we transition into our next class. Okay. All right, let's start off by sitting on that left hand. Right hand comes over. Allow the weight of your arm to drop. Let's switch. Had a really good dinner last night. Went to a pizza spot not too far from us, and we had an elote pizza. It's like a corn pizza. So it's like it has grilled chicken, it has corn, it has purple onions, and then it has like an avocado like ranch like drizzle on it. It was so good. I'll probably have that after my run. We have a couple of leftover slices. But yeah, really tasty pizza. Let's go ahead and bring both our hands over our head. Drop the elbows down. Relax. Okay. Do shoulder circles. So posture is nice and upright. Arms are down. Shoulders up, forward, down and back. So make the biggest possible circles you can with this movement. on reverse. Great. Let's go ahead and just continue with some shoulder stretches here. So elbows tucked in at your side. Raise as high as you can. Back down. Let's go trunk rotation. So grab a hold of the seat of the chair. Knees are forward. Grab a hold of the side of or the backrest of the chair and just gently pull yourself to the right side. Alright, let's go to the left. Let's go ahead. We're going to finish lastly with some hip openers here and then our performance stretch. So still facing forward, right leg, bring it out and push out here. Let's go left. Right here, and again just push out. Keep your torso nice and upright. Relax. Right ankle on that left knee. So right ankle on left knee. Apply a little bit of pressure downwards. Terry, so for, I know you mentioned the piano class. For that class, do you have like your laptop on top of your piano or next to it, and then you have your piano and you're just kind of observing?
No, I have to use the phone next to the piano, but then I log into the desktop, to the laptop in another room so I can print out the music.
Oh, I see. But is it like you follow along as what the instructor's doing? You're also like.
Oh yeah, she shows us a song every week, and then she talks about technique and various other things. It's really an interesting class.
Nice. I bought myself a keyboard back in college because I wanted to learn, and I had all the keys like labeled A, B, C, and D, and but yeah, I never got past like very basic stuff, and then I ended up gifting that let's push down. Ended up gifting that keyboard to one of my old runners who wanted to be like a music producer, and So yeah, and then that's as far as my, you know, I guess my experience with piano went. But yeah, I find myself on listening to a lot of piano music, like just on my runs and stuff. But yeah, it's so I think it's one of like the best instruments out there. It's just the sound it gives. It's, I don't know, really pretty. You have to perform for us one of these days.
Oh no, I do it more for physical therapy.
Oh yeah, for like, does that help with arthritis?
Because, yeah, for on my left side, I used to play piano quite well, and then it took me about a year and a half to be able to put one finger down on my left.
Oof.
So now I can do some simple chords again.
Oh, nice. That's good. I never thought
Yeah.
about that, but yeah, that makes sense. All right, folks, I'm gonna shut it down right now, but we'll see you soon on the next class at 9 a.m. Okay, so we'll be doing a little bit more active stuff for that. So have your dumbbells and yoga mats ready. So we'll see you folks soon.
Dumbbells? Oh no.
Very light. Your light.
Later.
Your light is dumbbells. All right. Bye.